Hello, my name is Kevin Moran, and this is the second video of what I hope to be a series of many videos on wine and food. The first video, if you had the pleasure of seeing it, I hope will bring you a useful tool for the kitchen about dicing an onion. My second video today will also be incredibly useful for those who enjoy wine, which I hope all of you do, and it's how to open wine. Much as was the case with my first video, I wanted to go back to the beginning of when I started cooking, and with this, when I started enjoying wine. It was a time that I first fell in love with champagne. So we're going to open a bottle of cava actually today, and I'll show you how to do that with the proper tool, which I have here, a kitchen towel in this case. And then we'll be opening a few different wine bottles with a couple different options for wine opening. I have here 5 different wine openers, all effective and with varying degrees of ease, you might say. This, perhaps the most common, is referred to as a waiter's opener or a waiter's knife. This too is a waiter's knife. The difference is this is not a good one and this is a good one. Differences ranging from the quality of the knife to the fact there's no cushion in the hinge, and then this has a much lighter weight to it and a much easier item to use. This is what millions of wine professionals across the world use. And then we have a Swiss Army knife, which has a wine opener on it. A last resort, if you will, requires a special technique, which I'll show you in a moment. Then we have a screw pull, really easy wine opener to use. As the name implies, as you screw it all the way in, you continue screwing it, it eventually pulls the cork out. I'll demonstrate that in a moment. And then lastly, on the table, on the counter, we have a winged wine opener, which is called as such because it has wings, and it's very easy to use as well. This is a pretty heavy-duty one and works quite well, but I'll kind of demonstrate that when we get to it. But let's start with the champagne, or more specifically, cava. So when opening champagne, you require but one tool. You require a kitchen towel, in this case, or a napkin in a restaurant setting, and you require cold champagne. This has been in the fridge all day. Most refrigerators are 38 to 40 degrees. This is cold enough and a nice temperature to enjoy, a nice temperature to open. If the champagne is not cold enough, it will cause mayhem in the opening process, and it will cause foaming, which is not really dangerous, but it's a waste of champagne, and we don't want to waste. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is take off the foil, which is around the neck and the cork and cage. So I'm going to get this off. You can just tear it off if you want, or, which I'll do, make it nice and easy. The restaurant typically would leave the neck portion on for aesthetics, but in this case we don't need that. Try to limit your exposure of skin to the wine, because champagne, more so than any other wine, you want to be cold, and obviously touching it makes the bottle warmer. So now we have the very important kitchen towel, which I'm going to fold so it's long and not too wide, like this. I've got the foil removed. I moved the cage out, so I have the tab here. I'm going to put this over the top, allowing access to the cage, and then I'm going to make sure that secure on my hip. I have a little shelf right here, as we all do, and I'm going to loosen the cage. This bottle is under about 6 atmospheric pressures. If you take this cage off without taking the caution that I'm taking, it may release and it may injure someone or waste champagne again, which is not good. So you've got this completely off. Do not remove the towel. Remove it all at once. Take the bottom of the champagne bottle and turn it, and just allow the pressure from the bottle within to what we call piss off. You hear the little pissing noise, and then the cork is out of the bottle. Again, the cage never leaves the cork. Very, very important. And enjoy the champagne. Now we go on to still wines. Let's start with the easiest one. No need for a corkscrew here. A little Stelvin finished. Named after the person who designed it. Very simply, open it and pour. How easy is that? Don't frown away. Modestly priced wines are well served to have a Stelvin finish. But we're going to go on to the corkscrew part. Here we have a Pinot Grigio. I'm going to start off with the screw pull. We're going to borrow the waiter's knife because it has such a great knife on it. If you don't have a waiter's knife and you're using one of these other options, you can use a kitchen knife, a steak knife, whatnot. You want to just go ahead and cut the top of the capsule off, but just like with the wine or with the champagne, you can, if you want, just pull it right off. Real easy. But I cut it so it looks nice and clean. Got that removed. Now we're going to use the screw pull to start. Again, we place that right on top. We start to screw it in. Just so easy. Screw, keep doing it, and you'll notice after 4 or 5 turns, out comes the cork. Make sure you hold the screw pull so it doesn't turn. And there we are. It's out. Hold the whole thing so you can take the cork off. And how easy is that? Put that back on. And we're done with that. Now we're going to go on to the waiter's knife. The easiest, the most effective, and the most commonly used. We're going to open the knife. We're going to, again, cut away the capsule so you can access the cork. Once that got a nice cut on it, just take that right off. Easy as can be. And then we're going to close the knife open. Coming at about a 45-degree angle, so the point is going right into the center of the cork. Give it a quick turn, and on that first turn, you should then be straight up, as we have there. Go ahead and go down all the way to the last thread of the screw is sitting on top of the cork. Good. Set it down. Use the first portion, pulling in with your index finger there. Pull it up a little bit. Use the second part. Pull it up all the way. Easy. Remove the cork and enjoy the wine. Last but not least, you find yourself with no other option than a Swiss Army knife. Maybe you're camping and you have wine with you, but no one brought a wine opener, but someone happens to have something like this. It doesn't have the levers, doesn't have the screw pull action, doesn't have the wings. How in the world do you get the cork out? Let me show you. We're going to first remove the capsule as we did on the other bottles. Give this a good tug. And there we go. The corkscrew, right? Waiter's knife. Take that right off. Nothing too fancy there. And then we're going to go in, just as we did with the waiter's knife, a little bit of an angle. Make sure you get into the center of a cork. Go all the way down. You notice this was a pretty short corkscrew, only about 4 threads, where that had 5 and this had many more. How do we get that out? Well, that's in there pretty tight. Here's the trick. Step back, put it down between your legs, hold it securely with your left hand, pull it up with your right. Pull it right out. Took a little effort, but it came out. Go ahead and remove it, close it up, enjoy the wine. So, a few different options for opening wine, a very specific process in opening champagne, the important kitchen towel for safety. That's how to open wine. Enjoy.